Facebook got hard. Like, I don't know when it decided to be such a complicated thing where it was like hard to connect and hard to reach and hard to get like the message of your business out, even if like you're not trying to be annoying and pushy and salesy. So in this video, I'm going to show you some ways that you can use Facebook in a brilliant way to connect with your audience and grow your business. Hi, my name is Desiree. If you're looking to grow your business with better social media and content marketing, take action now. Hit that subscribe button, the bell below. Now, the secret to anything that you do online, social media, anywhere that you go, you have to have a content plan. So make sure you get my free content planning worksheet that I have for you down in the description below. All right, let's dive into this. The number one thing that you need to remember whenever you're creating something, especially on Facebook, is you need to be a human. I know this is really hard, especially when you're trying to like establish a brand or a business, like a brick and mortar situation or like a bigger company. Whatever you're at, you have to remember that you have to have a humanized element to what you're doing. If you're not coming across as relatable or personable, people are just going to be really uninterested in what you have to say, what you have to sell, and they're probably going to peace out and go find your competitor who's talking to them in a way that you want them to. So figure out, what can you do to humanize your brand? How can you connect with your audience on like a person-to-person level, not this like brand or logo situation? Some tips for this are maybe doing like some behind the scenes, like take your customers with you behind what you're doing. Like how is the bread buttered or churned or whatever the saying is. Show people how things happen, what people's offices look like, how things are put together, whatever that looks like, take them on that journey. It's always also really cool to show like what your employees are doing. Like what is it that their day in the life looks like? Like what is it that they do on a regular basis? How is it like to be an employee at your company or your business, even if it's just you? Like what does that look like? Now, we have become a culture that loves to communicate with our cell phones, and it's become really easy for us to use emojis to identify how we're feeling and assign like a tone to whatever we're trying to say. I don't know about you, but I'll be like texting with my mom or my husband if I'm trying to make a point that's attached to like sarcasm or like I'm really upset or whatever it may be. I always attach emojis to what I'm doing. So with 92% of people using emojis online, you should be using them in your messaging as well. One of the cool things about emojis, you can use them in so many different ways, and there's such a plethora of them. Not only like on your phone, but you can use a website like Emojipedia, where you're going to be able to like put in what you're looking for and add it into your messaging. Figure out what you can do to let emoji set the tone for your videos and your messaging, whatever you're doing, and make that a part of what you do with your messaging. Now, it's really easy for you as a brand to talk about your business. Like we can talk about how great you are all day, but you know what's even better? When someone else talks about you. In the internet, this is called user-generated content. This is where you are going to have other people that enjoy your product, enjoy your service, let them talk about how great your business is. This is in the form of testimonials. This is in the form of them like actually showing the product in action, how they're doing it, you know, taking pictures and posting online. We live in an incredibly oversharing world right now. And so anytime we love something or we really hate something, we're going to tell everybody on the internet about it. So figure out how you can tap into your existing customer base and connect with them about, hey, you know, could you share with us like how you're doing this? Or maybe people already are, and ask if you can use that content or message in your own messaging to share it. That way it can be communicated with your audience and they can find that additional layer of connection. Now, on some social networks, this does not work, which is why this is a Facebook specific tip. You want to look into doing long posts. Well, a lot of studies have been coming out lately about how longer posts are performing better on Facebook. And part of this is because people are wanting to spend more time connecting and getting the story and context to what they're doing. This not only applies to what you're posting on social generally, but also what you're doing if you're doing any paid advertising. The longer the post, the more context, the more transparency you're going to give to your customers. And make sure when you're doing these long posts that you're attaching an image to it. I don't think videos make sense. Like if you're doing a long post and you're attaching a video, that's too much content for someone to consume and they're just gonna scroll past. Consider doing like carousel images where they can swipe to get more information, or just have a really good, vulnerable, relatable, happy photo of you or the situation that you can attach to that long post. Now, when it comes to your Facebook business page, it's really helpful to have a shop attached to it. There are so many cool features available within Facebook pages, and adding a shop allows for you to put whatever it is that you sell up there. So if you have a product, if you have a drink, if you have a menu, if you have a service-based business, whatever it is, list those items up in your shop so people can know like what you have to offer, what some pricing is, and maybe you can make additional sales from that. By completing your Facebook page and adding that shop, you're gonna get a lot of extra attention and opportunities to grow your audience through your products. Facebook Stories has been getting a really bad rep. People are like, oh, you're just taking it from Instagram, and then everybody else is doing it across social media as well. But Facebook Stories is something that you really should consider adding into your strategy. They're at the top of the newsfeed for anyone's phone, and so if someone's following your page, they're more likely to get your content seen if they're actively watching stories or they see it pop up at the top. So think about, okay, what can I share in these stories? What are these micro pieces of content that I can do that I know are going to go away in 24 hours? Maybe this is the opportunity to humanize your brand and connect with people. Do the behind the scenes and just have a little bit of extra fun. What's it going to hurt? That's one of the great things about social media and marketing is that you have this fantastic opportunity to test things out. Why not try it with Facebook Stories? Now, you know I love me some video. We are watching this video most likely on YouTube. And so you know this is a fantastic way to connect with people and give information. But when it comes to Facebook, you gotta be focusing on short form content that's easy to consume, that's going to include closed captions. You wanna make sure that people can get the gist of what you're trying to say without having to listen, because 84% of people are watching videos on social media without sound. You have to kind of think like, what is the environment that most people are usually scrolling their phone? Are they at work? Are they in the bathroom? Are they taking care of their kids? Are they doing something? They can't hear something, and your video is like hearing dependent or story dependent, like you're talking to somebody or showing something. By not having that audio, that content gets missed out on. So make sure you're including closed captions and creating those short, engaging pieces of content that people are interested in for your feed. What's really great about Facebook is that they have groups. No other social network has the power that Facebook groups have. And I know LinkedIn has groups and things like that, but Facebook groups are a true place to build community. In fact, groups are the #1 reason that I use Facebook on a regular basis. I'm allowed to have these really specific niche places that I can go to get answers or be a part of something and feel like I'm connecting with the people and the brands that are associated with it. So think, how can you create a community around what you have to offer? And I don't think that your community should be something like name of my business Facebook group. It should be something related to like what you do and the problem that you solve. So maybe you have an insurance business. I know I use this as an example, but I think it's the most relatable way. Let's say you have an insurance business and you're serving a small community in Texas. Well, you should create a Facebook community that's all about like showing off the things that are happening in that small community in Texas. Like, what are the events? What are the local teams? What is like Bobby Sue down the street doing? Like, what, someone got some cool car? Like, talk about the community that you're trying to serve, and then you'll be associated with this different way of having business. That way when people are like, oh, when I need insurance, I'm gonna go talk to them to get it done. And while this is a small but important tip that you should use hashtags. Hashtags are a foundation of social media. All of the social networks are using them and doing them, and you need to include them in your Facebook posts. Now, you don't have to go nuts and do like 30 like you can on Instagram. I think just doing 1 or 2 on your posts is really powerful. You have to remember that they are clickable, and people are using those hashtags to find other things related to what that hashtag content is about. Now, we've talked about all these really great, brilliant things that you can do to have a really effective Facebook marketing strategy. But what about all the mistakes that you might be making? Well, watch this video right here. I'm going to break down some of the big mistakes that you're probably making with your social media strategy. And hey, watch this video right here because YouTube thinks you're really going to like it. Until next time, I'll see you soon.